Welcome back to RPL once again. I'm your commentator Ryan Ocon31, and it is time to get the action underway. Last week in Spain, we had Florian win from pole position. He's fourth in the championship. Ahead of him in the championship is JTK, Valkyrie, and Grandpa leads the championship over Valk by 5 points. Mercedes lead the constructors by a total of 14 points. Let's get the action going. I'm your commentator, Ryan Ocon31, and alongside me today is Beatnik. Beatnik, you've commentated here before, and you commentated again last week. Welcome along.
Great to be back again, as per the usual nowadays. Good to be back. Wish I could be on the track, but you know what? Tier 1 calls. So, can't wait for tomorrow's race at Monza, but it's all about today here in Austria. Can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, you have to be happy because your team is leading with Mercedes. 14 points, you're ahead of Ferrari, 15 ahead of McLaren. Red Bull 4th. In the last 4 races, there's been 4 different teams who've won, 4 different drivers. You want to go back even further? Well, we have a very, very long list in terms of winners. 6 different winners in the last 7 Tier 2 races. That is the difference Tier 2 has made between the whole field. That to me is the most surprising part in the last couple of weeks here.
Yeah, it's a really cool stat there when you go over it. A lot of different people have been winning races lately, and we'll see if that list continues. So far, I mean, Grandpa's on pole. We got that person in second place, and Make PK third in the Red Bull so far at Red Bull's home track. I mean, of course, there's 36 long laps, which could be weather impacted, so I've been told. So we'll just have to see what happens. It's Tier 2, anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not able to join the session currently because the session's full. We're gonna have to figure that one out. As for right now, I need you to give me how much is left in the session, just so I have an idea of when I do come in.
All right, here we go. Here's the rundown. 4:55 left in the session. Top 10 goes like this: Grandpa, Dat Person, Make PK, Gecko, Florian, Valkyrie, Zakaria, Invade, Trap Racer, and Instincts. Rounding out the top 10.
All right.
And about 4:30 left. And most cars on the pits at the moment.
Interesting. Very interesting.
One quali ban in FBL, and Mally 41, I believe he crashed out, or he has a quali ban, I don't know, so...
Yes, he was assigned late. Yep, correct. So, yep, that is exactly why he'd have to serve a qualifying ban for that. For those of you tuning into the stream, yeah, no, it's not necessarily that they forgot the comms there in the chat. I was going to add on to that and say, no, the stream wouldn't start at first. I had to restart my console in order for it to start. So, I mean, with that said, obviously it took a little bit for us to get going. Obviously, it took a little bit for me to invite Beatnik as well to join us. So, obviously, those were a bunch of factors in that, and I still cannot join the session through anybody's invite, since the session is full. So. We're gonna need one of the spectators.
I'll take the pain and leave if you can get in.
Yeah,
if you want.
We'll figure that out. That might be the easiest for the stream's sake, so we can at least catch the end of qualifying. And then I think you'll have to figure that out with Jack or Luke, because I believe those two are the spectators currently in the session. I don't know if they expected you to come in today or not, but
probably
if
not.
you can send an invite,
them know,
then leave. I don't know. Like,
I forgot
let me know when
them.
you do leave. That is a fair point.
Let
me know when you
just left now, so
Okay.
try
I should be able to join off of Luke's name. Yes, I can. And if anyone does leave, I will be able to get you in. So keep me up to date on that. And I apologize for having you to take the pain on that, but it's an unfortunate situation. It's partially also my fault for the stream starting late as well. But beside that being the point, we can now get everyone in the action, which is the good thing, because you know what? That's what's good with the stream. Before we get into we're not going to be able to get into hot laps at all in the session and talk much about it. Obviously, there's tricky corners around here. Track limit's a big thing as well. Your strategy as well, a big thing. There's tons of things as well. The curbs, you don't want to ride the curbs because you could crash your car. Traction zones, a ton of tricky things here. But one thing I was going to mention to you, and it's not been released from this past weekend, which we'll have to figure out, but I was going to speak in terms of at least the stream side of things, having race highlights the last couple of weeks here. Those should be released pretty soon. That's Owen, who usually does the uploads, Cryptic, who does the thumbnails, and I do the edits for that. So that should be released there pretty soon. Beaton, to give your, before we get to final laps in the qualifying session, give your thoughts on what you've thought of the race highlights so far coming back to RPL and on the YouTube.
I mean, it's great to see them return. They used to be a thing a while ago. I mean, but it was like a spastic thing. Like you'd see them once every couple months. So great to see them hopefully making a more regular return to the league. So great to see, and just shows a much more condensed video of all the action RPL has to offer. So I think it could be a very exciting thing to promote the league.
Absolutely. Here we go. Final qualifying laps. They start now. If you're not out there by now, then you're not going to have a chance to set your qualifying lap. Dat person, 85,000 up in his time. Previously in RPL, he's had a pole position. He's had 2 front rows. He's looking to make that even more for Ferrari. In fact, he was the only Alpine pole sitter within the last 2 seasons of Tier 2. And I'd say combined for RPL within the start of Season 9 with Tier 1, Season 9 Tier 2, and now Season 10. Only pole sitter for them. Now moved over to Ferrari, looking to do something there full time. We got a Ferrari car currently on pole with Florian, and he's almost 2/10 up. Hunted goes second fastest for Red Bull. In fact, Hunted just recently signed a contract for them, so he's looking to dice some things up. Now here comes that person for the final 2 corners, trying to nail it. Not invalidate. He's got a little bit of dirty area he's picking up, but comes to the line. It's going to be front row and just barely on it. Can anybody change that? Behind that, you have a Haas. That's Owen, who's your previous champion. He gets in a lap just before the timer runs out, and Kipu will barely make the flag. So everybody makes a flag. Now everyone's coming to the line to complete laps. Valkyrie only can take 7th. Grandpa only for 4th. The Haas of Instincts comes to the line. He's currently down in his time. He can only stay 14th. Next is a Mercedes. That's Tret Racer. Can Tret Racer do something? He goes up to 7th. After that was Leon Miner, 17th, recently signed a contract with Williams. He's slowest of everybody who set a lap, but currently it's a Ferrari 1-2. Can anyone stop that? PK's off in the final corner. PK was improving by a 10th, but cannot do anything about it. Hunted has to abort and go to the pit lane. That person's not improving. It's going to be down to the final couple of drivers to see if anyone can take a surprise pole position, but as of now, it's a Ferrari 1-2.
Well,
Zakaria.
I can't see what's going on, but it sounds very exciting.
Oh! Yes, just barely. Misses out on improving a place. Blugagi is 13th. Next across the lines, Owen. He can improve a place. And Kipu enters the final corner and exits it. Comes to the line. Kipu will not go to the top 10. Actually, he barely just does, just at the last moment. He does make the top 10 over his teammate Invade. So there you go. There is your qualifying order on the grid. How about that?
How about that indeed?
Ferrari 1-2.
Sounded like very chaotic final laps there, but ended in a Ferrari 1-2. Can't see what's going on, obviously. I can't get in the lobby with it being full, so could be an interesting race, and could be rain. We could have some rain later on, from what I've been told.
Yes, very true. Valkyrie did mention that there is rain in the session, and I will be able to get you an invite here, I think, soon. I will get you updated on that. Here's your starting lineup. Florian takes his 3rd pole position of the season in Tier 2. Behind that, you have that person 2nd, making it a Ferrari front row. That person's been impressive to start in his RPL first full month this is now. Behind that, Hunted rounds out the top 3. Then it's Grandpa and Gecko. Grandpa started off very well, leads the championship. Outside of that, PK is 6th. Tret Racer, Valkyrie, Zakaria doing a Tier 2 race here. Kipu rounds out the top 10 for Aston Martin. And then behind that, we look at names such as Invade, Tadpole, a previous champion, Tadpole, and Owen, the 2 previous Tier 2 champions, right next to one another. Instincts, and Molly, who's having to start at the very back, as well as FBL. Those are some names that kind of stand out to us.
Well, FBL had a quality ban. Titan didn't get his name in the lineup in time, so he had no choice. We'll see what he can do from the back of the grid. Alfa Romeo is not the greatest car in the world, but well, like we said before, it's tier 2. Anything could happen. I mean, pretty sure we had a Haas win last season, so that just shows
fair
you.
point. Haas on the podium, AlphaTauri on the podium, many different teams in the podium. So let's go over a couple things. We went over the standings. 5 points separate Grandpa and Valkyrie. 7 points. JTK's back. Florian, who just won the previous race, is 8 points back, and he's on pole position for the 3rd time this season so far. 3 out of 3. After that, you go to the strategy. Well, here is the strategy. Likely a medium to hard, hard medium, and maybe some drivers can stretch a hard to soft. However, there is rain in this session, so that changes the complexion of it. Hards, they usually last anywhere from 23 to 27 laps, and if we get the rain early, most people will start on softs. 15 to 17 laps, those last. So that shall be interesting. And as for the pit stop loss time, that is around 19 seconds per lap. So here we go. Just waiting on the drivers to ready up, and then they'll rev it up for lights out for the Austrian Grand Prix, round number 3 of the season in RPL. Here we go.
Don't see the 5 red lights, obviously, but should be a good race. And Tadpole said, "That's the rain, utter bullshot." So, so maybe the rain isn't as serious as we thought it was.
Maybe. There is a good chance that the rain may not be that serious, and it may not appear in today's race at all. Or, if it does, maybe it's a little light drizzle for these drivers, not enough for the intermediates. Waiting for everyone to ready up. It's just a matter of sorting out your fuel, sorting out your strategy, and maybe changing a pair of tires. Here we go. Here come the 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's a Ferrari 1-2 to lead down to turn 1. Here they go. They rev it up. And it's lights out, and away we go. Florian gets a decent start. It's able to cover off that person and as well the Red Bull. But now we have got a safety car immediately off the line.
Not this glitch again.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We never like this kind of glitch. Oh,
I hate it when this happens. So.
Well, will there be a restart? That becomes the big question now with this.
And
if there is.
Not.
And if there is, though, we could have a good chance at part number 2 of the start, which would be interesting. But as of now, I don't see anything from Jack or Luke. So that's a good thing, maybe, in terms of continuing this race. Look at the Xbox. It is. Either way, I don't think anyone got damaged, but a couple people did trade some places off that. Luke is typing. And Valk was very upset about that because she said she nailed the start, and it is a restart.
There it is.
There we go. There's your restart. See how quick everyone gets the memo? I mean, that Haas right there is absolutely tore up, you know? That was funny. Yep, it is a restart, so maybe that's something to include in the highlights there, you know, the original start there to what caused the restart. Interesting.
This glitch.
I'll take that to note. I know, it's very annoying. It is very much annoying. The good thing is, though, we can figure out the situation with either Jack or Luke leaving in terms of getting you in. That's the good part, I think. But Tadpole did say to Jack it was a full wet race. So, or he's wanting a full wet race. I'm not sure what the situation is there. I know there was some sort of rain that was projected, but how bad really was it?
Could have been a light drizzle, could have been thunderstorms, could have been Category 5 hurricane. I mean, if it's a full wet race, we could even expect a red flag at some point here. So, it would be interesting to see. As Luke has actually invited me. How lovely. But, this restart will take a couple minutes here. Sooner the better.
Definitely at least a minimum of 5, knowing the last couple of restarts with how it's been. And fun fact, we now have had 3 restarts in a row to start the Tier 2 season. Man, isn't that crazy?
EA moment. That's all I gotta say. EA moment.
EA moment, host moment, whatever it may be. Who knows?
Who knows, indeed. Wow.
There is definitely a couple things that do factor into it, though. I mean, a couple times at the end of last season, the host had equal cars on accident, and they realized that just after qualifying, meaning a restart. So there's been lots of things that have definitely caused these restarts. So this not being the first of those, obviously. I think the interesting thing is, though, and now that we have you in here and me in here both, one of the spectators will have to leave. So we'll figure that one out. And I'm gonna message Jack and Luke about that now.
If it has to be me, well, I'll just take it, and you can commentate on your own then, if that happens, or I'll just wait until someone retires. So
yeah, I mean, I would love to have you in here to make things easier, and if you're not, it makes you feel like Ted Kravitz a little bit, to be honest. So, you know, I will say that in terms of something there. I put it out there to Jack and Luke, by the way, and they should have results from the qualifying session. We do know it was a Ferrari 1-2. Rounding out the top 6 was McLaren's and Red Bulls, so obviously a little bit of stuff going on there. The interesting thing about it is because of how many spectators there were, even if Luke, let's say, did do his usual fill in and try to race, the interesting thing about it is it still would be a full session, regardless, because there'd be 19 drivers and 4 spectators. So that's obviously the tricky thing there. You have a full lobby now, so surely there's someone who's not able to get in the lobby currently, and we're gonna find out who that is due to the spectator stuff. It either is an AlphaTauri or a Williams. That's all we do know, and I don't know who was in the last session off the top of my head, to be honest. So we'll put that out there. Now is a good time, I guess, to at least remind Owen in a moment about the race highlights from last week. Because I do have those done. Those are out. Not out on the YouTube, but out in terms of ready to post. Cryptic gave a thumbnail, so perfect in terms of that. And Kipu is the one who cannot join the session because, quote unquote, the session is full. So that is why that's the case. So we'll figure that out with which spectator goes, which spectator doesn't. I'd assume I don't, be for the sake of the stream. But yeah, in terms of that qualifying session, Beatnik, from what we just saw, it's interesting that it's wide open the way it is between the teams. Like last season, we had Red Bull who were clear ahead of the rest, and Luke has now left the session, so I think you'll be able to stay here, Beatnik. It's Red Bull who were clear ahead of the rest at the end of last season and just in general last season, but it changed toward the last 2 races there, and it was kind of a tale to tell for this season and kind of a preview, because now look at the constructor standings. Red Bull are 4th. It's wide open. The top 8 right there. You had Ferrari 1-2, then you had in the top 6 McLaren's, Red Bulls in different positions. Then you had a Mercedes. Then you had Mercedes just barely outside that. So very very interesting with the way it started. It's not just Red Bull dominance with the way it was at the end of well, not even at the end, but just in general of Tier 2 last season. It's not the same way, and it's wide open for any team to take it, it seems like.
It's completely wide open here. I mean, last season was quite interesting. Ended in a Merc 1-2 on track. Maybe some momentum being built off that. Or the Merc drivers, just Mercedes Academy drivers, building some more skill in the off season. I don't know, but I think in my opinion, the clear favorites, I think it's got to be Ferrari. Florian and Depp Person, they are both very rapid drivers. McLaren, they're in that mix too. Gecko and Grandpa, they're both great drivers too. Valkyrie Track Racer, they got great skill. It is like, and even the midfield, You got Owen. You got Owen and Haas. You never know with him. Zakaria and Williams today. You never know. You got Melick 41. He's in the Alpine, leading midfield car. It is completely wide open for anybody to score good points, win a race, get a podium. You just never know when it comes to Tier 2. And I think that's one of the greatest things about this tier. It's unpredictable, and I think that's what everybody loves.
Absolutely, and you know what, too, about the unpredictability that you just mentioned a little bit? You know, look at the drivers so far, the driver standings. 8 points between the top 4. You know, yes, it's the start of the season, but the point is that none of those drivers are Red Bull drivers either. And it's separated with a couple different teams as well. So it kind of makes it in a sense to where, in all honesty, it's not the same way it was with Tier 2 last season. You had Owen in the Red Bull and he ran away with it. Even then, he's in a Haas this season, and so far, in the one race he did, and in the qualifying session we've seen so far, he did struggle. He did struggle, and it wasn't exactly perfect by him. Haas were on the podium a couple times last season. He's not replicated any pace of a podium so far. Yes, it's obviously one race so far, but it shows that a lot can happen, and a lot's changed from last season. You know, we have a two-time champion in Owen and a champion in Tadpole, but it could likely be a third different active champion on the Tier 2 grid here, at least full-time, so that shall be interesting, if that is the case.
Very interesting indeed, and Jack has just given the call to ready up, so we'll be ready to go momentarily here, and predictions on who wins this race. I have a very easy prediction that's 100% going to happen. The top 18 crash, Liam wins. So.
Wow. No, you just want to go that deep. Okay. You know, I would have said you'd be driving the safety car again, but you know what? It's not that obvious.
No, it's the medical car this time.
Well, I guess. For what? The crash in Tier 1 you're about to have this weekend, or no? It is Italy, so, I mean,
well, I mean, we're in Austria. This is where I drove the safety car earlier in Tier 1 this season, so.
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah. Chat, there's 5 of you watching. Give us your predictions for the race as well. I'm gonna go with my prediction. I'm gonna say that person does win. I mean, you know, he had a couple get away from him at the end of that season in Tier 2. He started off strong in Bahrain, didn't get the result he should have really got. I think the thing is that compared to his teammate, and it's nothing against Florian, I think he could put a much better race together compared to Florian. So that makes obviously with the Ferrari 1-2 as Zacharias left the session. That makes the Ferrari 1-2, I would say, in terms of that, not as much discreditable, but more so stronger because Florian has the outright qualifying pace, whereas that person is the outright race pace. So that's what makes it interesting between them. I don't know if it'll be a Ferrari 1-2 though. We'll find out. As for a couple drivers leaving the session, Zacharian Instincts will need an invite back. As for the race itself, it looks a lot more clearer this time. We'll see what the weather is on. As for strategy, we'll go over that one more time. Hard to soft is the most unlikely strategy, and reverse of that, soft to hard. However, most of the drivers should be going anywhere from medium to hard, hard to medium. That should be the preferred strategy between the drivers. Instincts is joined back. That's good to have him back in the session. And the tire length, softs, 15 to 17 laps, mediums 20 to 23, and your hards usually go anywhere from 23 to 27. So be on the lookout for that, especially if there is some rain. If there's not in this session in terms of the restart, then our strategy comes in perfect because, well, we basically called it, and we basically gave it our prediction with that, and usually most times out of 10 that's right. So Zakaria trying to come back in the lobby, it looks like. Maybe not, maybe not, we'll see. He's back in. Now we're just waiting on drivers to finalize their setups, finalize the fuel, and finalize the strategy. It shall be interesting to see. 36 laps upon us here in Austria, and we will see who comes out on top.
It's going to be very exciting here. Like Austria, I mean, this is the track of the penalty merchant. So here we go then. 5 red lights. Now he's left. That's a shame. And it's lights out and away we go. I'm sorry I took your line there, Ryan. But the two Ferraris get a good start. Hunter gets a better start compared to that person. We go into turn 1. Red Bull Ferrari side by side. Hunter goes off the track. And there's no safety car yet.
Well, that's the good thing compared to the restart there. We got side-by-side for second place. Is that person trying to outbrake Hunted into turn 3, almost hitting the back of the Ferrari. There's the Red Bull Hunted, but they continue to remain side-by-side and out of this race. Out of this race is Zakaria. That causes the virtual safety car that we thought we wouldn't see, and now we see it. What just happened to Zakaria? Zakaria had issues with the setup coming into the session, left the session, rejoined the session, and then he said he was just in third person, tried to take control, and I guess that's what just happened.
I was expecting that maybe his wheel disconnected and he just went straight on.
It stinks now.
And that's an on-track DNF there.
That's very weird.
I'm gonna put
What
that
have we just seen? To the start of this race, both AIs just had some issues there.
But
I think we're about to get this race back going. Yeah, interesting. We are. It is Florian who leads lap 1. Easily, though, with the VSC coming out. And now we got to battle 4th place in the road. PK is down the inside of Grandpa. They're going to make contact. PK almost forces him off the track. It's going to be PK who's ahead. And now Gecko can take advantage of this with PK giving him the shove as well. Here comes Grandpa. Grandpa Gecko side by side, 5th place. They're dueling it out for the position. And off the road they go. Hunted as well is going to take 2nd place in the road. Side by side, it's all a gaggle of cars to try to fight for the lead. It's going to be 3 wide if they don't be careful. Here they go, 3 wide. Oh, they gave the squeeze. That person has to run off the road. And now PK, they both make contact. And now side by side for the lead. Florian trying to hang on from Hunted, but Hunted can't give him the contest.
What happened there? That 3 wide move, it looked like Florian. I think he tried to pinch the car in the middle, which then pinched the car in the middle into his teammates. So, just a big old Constantina effect there. And Florian's still leading this thing. I'm not sure how, but while all that was happening, Valkyrie, she almost drove right into the back of one of the McLarens heading into turn 3. That was a tough one to see. As that person trying to go past Hunted, it's Ferrari 1-2 again, and now Hunted's under pressure from Grandpa. Here we go, DRS activated.
Turn 3, here they come. Oh, there's contact! There's contact for the battle in 2nd place between Hunted, Dad Person, and Grandpa, and it almost ended in a race-ending collision. Gecko's now going down the order from the 2 Mercedes, but Dad Person takes over 2nd place to make it a Ferrari 1-2, and here comes Hunted down the inside. Hunted making the move.
Great move.
Invading Gecko. And now Hunted takes 3rd place.
Brilliant.
That got score machine.
Yeah, that got
very much...
wild.
It was, and now it's a Ferrari battle for the race lead. Dad Person trying to take the lead. We got a crash to the back. Leon, Molly. Those are the 2 involved as Tadpole gets overtaken for 15th place. But now the lead is back at stake. 2/10 the gap. DRS is now enabled for the 3 DRS straights that you'll see here. It's the fastest lap going to that person. Tadpole entering the pit lane with potential damage as the Red Bull of PK runs off the road and comes back on. However, the battle for the lead. Here comes that person trying to take it from Florian, his teammate. Which way is he going to go? He pulls the inside. Tadpole's
damage, I think, from Tadpole, so that just missed the battle for the lead, but Florian stays ahead. Hunted right there, too. And Grandpa and Big PK both have their little squabbles, and then, looks like Track Racer, well, in his Mercedes debut.
Yeah, Blugagi and Gecko battling it out for 9th place now. That's been back and forth the last couple of moments. However, the positions gained. Up 1 for PK, up 1 for Track Racer, Valkyrie as well. Down 1 for Kippu, down 5 from Gecko. So Gecko's not had the start from McLaren that he would have wanted. And up 3 for Invade, up 5 for Gagi. FBL up 6 in the start. Not the start Owen would have wanted either for Haas, only gaining 1 spot. Here we go. The battle for the lead still continues, and almost losing it off turn 1 right there was Hunted. So now following in this train, he's going to have to see what happens in front of him as that person goes on the attack, but inside is Hunted on the leader. They do touch at turn 3, and now Hunted trying to get the upper edge, trying to find a way on both Ferraris, trying to get them under attack as that person pulls out to the left side, and now to the middle goes Hunted. He can't go anywhere. He was trying a little squeeze play move, couldn't do it, but that person takes over the lead.
Wow, what a beautiful battle this is. 5 cars all battling for the lead here, and the Ferrari swapping places at the top. This is brilliant. This is shades of what happened in 2022. Oh, no!
PK!
PK, no!
Is off, but not out. PK slammed into that barrier and didn't get damage, and now was reset to track.
Penalty there.
That will be. Very important thing you just mentioned right there. Red Bull, we were talking about not being as dominant as last season. Exactly the point there. The race coming undone for 1, and now could be for 2 if Hunted does not be careful, because he almost got in a collision. But here they go again at turn 3 where that previously happened. Inside line for that person. He sends one at turn 3, almost pushes his teammate off, and through goes Hunted. He takes the race lead momentarily, but can he keep it into turn 4? He's got a hungry pack behind him. They're going to split him, the Ferraris. However, it's Florian down the inside first. He does get him, and then here goes that person back to the inside. 2 and 1. Hunted back down to 3rd.
Shades of through goes Hamilton there. Made a beautiful move and immediately gets overtaken. He almost crashes with Grandpa there, I think through turn 6. Absolutely brilliant racing here between these top guys. And I absolutely love to see it. These guys, they're racing like it's the last lap right now. I mean, cool it down, guys. It's only lap 7.
Absolutely. This is exactly what the DRS train does to somebody, and it looked like that person was thinking of a move in a turn 1. You just barely can overtake in a turn 1. Sometimes he thought better of it. ERS, a big thing here in the front pack. Florian managing it better, and here goes Hunted for 2nd place to try to attack Florian first, and that person pulled to the inside. They do touch for a moment, the 2 Ferraris. However, that person hangs on to 2nd place. He's still got Hunted and Grandpa to challenge. Goggy gets Valk, and in the background they have a big train there. Well, we have the train for the lead. Down the inside, that person goes again. 2nd place in this race. He's trying to attack to make it a Ferrari 1-2 again. Still can't get it. He's gonna have the run now to the end of sector 2. Trying on the outside of Hunted. Can't get the spot. Hunted remains in 2nd place in this race, but they continue to battle all throughout the field.
It's the DRS trains at the moment. I'm watching the secondary train being led by Invade Valkyrie right now. Valkyrie's really trying to hold on to stay ahead of Blue Goggy here. He's having a pretty good race here. For Romeo. Bless you.
Sorry to cut in. That person nearly lost it off the final corner and now has to contest the place to Grandpa unless he still goes for it. Off the track goes Grandpa. He re-enters alongside him, but that could have been treacherous for the both of them. However, the lead's at stake once again. Hunted, gonna fight it. Down the inside he goes on Florian. They stay side by side. Florian goes off the road. And now Hunted takes the race lead once again.
The battles never stop here. It's only lap 8, and these guys likely had their battle like last lap. Here we go, Florian again. Person trying to chase it too, and then behind them, the secondary train is brilliant right now. So much action everywhere you look. Gecko almost loses the back end towards the back, and Kipu trying to take advantage. But back up front, it's Florian again trying to hold the lead, breaking the toe, and now side by side, Grandpa and that person again into turn 1.
Yeah, we keep trying to get a good camera angle into turn 3 as Grandpa goes off the road once again. We just can't always get a good angle into turn 3, so we're going to use onboard for the moment being when we head into turn 3. When we see a move trying to be made, you can see Hunted almost on the back, roaring on Florian, trying to find the spot. Valk also gets invade for the time being as well. It becomes a Mercedes 5-6. Blue Goggy's dicing it in there as well as him and FPL penalties. And here we go for the lead once again. Florian and Hunted, the same corner that a Red Bull and Ferrari touched in Tier 1 of Stenner and Reese. Florian this time upper edge on Hunted.
Great stuff there by these guys. They are just battling so hard. We haven't even reached the pit window yet. They're all pretty much on mediums, apart from Gecko and Make PK. Speaking of Make PK, he's in penalty club and he's out of the race.
That is a crash, and so far it hasn't brought out the safety car. Interesting stuff right there. So his teammate now is going to try to help Red Bull out in the constructors and not be fourth, but he gets a penalty.
That is not how you help.
Not at all, but he's still going to go for the race lead. Trap Racer gets a penalty in fifth. Here we go. Florian trying to defend to the inside line. Hunted goes. They're going to be side by side. They do make contact again. However, Florian ends this time still on the road. And now, that person's struggling to keep it within DRS, and Hunted comes back at it. Outside line this time. Can they keep it? Hunted's going to go around the outside. It's Florian keeping the race lead for now. However, he wiggles and now allows Hunted to go to the outside line and have a chance here to the double left. However, it does not mean anything. Florian keeps the race lead.
Hunted tried the speck of dreams there. Did not work. I thought he was going for it in turn 7 there for a second, and glad he didn't go for it there. That would have ended in pure disaster, ending in tears. Florian is defending for his life right now. This is brilliant. And now, the ERS situation has switched into Hunted's favor. Even with that penalty, as Trap Racer is the first to blink, he's in.
Trap Racer had that penalty. It's so hard to keep up. So much battling. You have the second train. You have the first train full of 4 cars. The second train being led by Valk. And here goes Hunted once again. Inside line on Florian. Pulls out. Can he get it done this time? Clips the curb. Almost goes into him. But they remain side by side at a turn 3. They do bang wheels for just a moment. And does this invite the 2 behind in? They do touch again. Florian has to defend the right side this time, and he does just that and keeps the race lead. Behind that, Gecko and Blue Goggy. Gecko gets the spot on Blue Goggy. However, Blue Goggy wants a taste of more. Can't get it. And Vade also remains just behind Valkyrie as they do start their pit window. Gecko on the hards. Trap Racer going to the mediums there after that one, so this shall be interesting. Remember, those soft tires do go 15 to 17 laps, but you should realistically be pitting earlier.
And, I mean, it's funny you say Trap Racer on mediums. That's automatic 2-stop, because he started on the medium tires. So, we're going to see what he can do with that strategy. As, here we go. Are we going to go side by side in the turn 1? I thought we were. There's contact. Big damage. There goes the implant.
And they touch again.
They hit again. There's no front
there
wing
is
left
damage
on now.
Grandpa has no front wing on his car, and that is big toward this race as down the inside Hunted goes. They do make contact again, and Grandpa is having a struggle, and he's going to have to come to the pit lane surely.
Ignoring the fact that he held the place with no front wing, Hunted's going to go through. Florian down the inside. He charges it out of the way, and he tries to take the lead. Big contact there, forcing him to the inside. I thought they're about to crash here. More contact again. Florian tries the outside. Will it work? Side by side again. Hunted almost loses it, and Florian somehow stays ahead. Wow.
I am so sorry. This is a terrible camera angle we've been getting right there. My goodness.
The camera angles are absolutely shocking. I will agree.
I don't know if it's happening for you, but it is happening for me. Grandpa does duck to the pit lane to repair that front wing, unsurprisingly.
Unsurprisingly, indeed. I mean, you're not winning a race with no front wing. Here we go. Part 13 of Florian versus Hunted. Now they're just playing DRS mind tricks between each other. Trap Racer gets the fastest
And they still
lap.
bang!
It's a never-ending battle with these guys.
Goodness.
Florian, his ERS is blinking, and he once again goes down the
inside line! They touch!
My goodness, this is some unbelievably aggressive defense from Florian. And Hunted, at this point, if he gets the lead, he has to hold
Oh.
that inside, or else Florian's just going to send it.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know.
Goodness.
That is very RG defense, as Trap Racer has now caught up to the DRS train of Mally. He did set the fastest lap earlier, so just putting the paces in that Mercedes. A back up front.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're all good. There was just a little bit of lag there, so I was also a little confused about that. But with Grandpa breaking his front wing right there in the contact out of turn 1, it does question, will there be a penalty heading toward that person? And now it does make it a 3-car race. Hunted shoves his way through, trying to take the lead back. Can't do so. However, Florian's going to have to defend once again using all that battery. Just continuing to dump it. And he pulls out to the inside to try to get the slipstream. Now pulls the outside.
Himself.
He switches him back. He pulls the fake and shoves him out wide. And almost off goes Florian. Now it's that person's chance to make it a Ferrari 1-2. Around the outside. Can't do it. And he's still going to hang on, though. He gets shoved off the road. He does remain on, though, for the time being.
My goodness, what incredible battle here. And I mean, I'm not saying this is clean by any stretch of the imagination. Oh my goodness,
Valk
Hunted's in.
Is around and out. A big crash for
Oh my
Valk.
goodness,
And
safety
Blue
car.
Goggy's involved. Gecko's involved. The safety car is out.
I didn't catch it. I don't know what
I
happened
did.
there.
Valk lost it in the traction zone of that left-right. And everybody is pitting except for the 2 Ferraris. Oh my goodness.
He's had no choice. They had already passed the pit entry. But I think that person, he's gonna have to back off here a little bit just so he doesn't lose too much time. And my goodness, this has worked for Tret Racer. He's in a net P2 now.
Grandpa's back into this race as well. Perfect for
Actually,
him.
probably P4, but my goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunate for Valkyrie, who started off the season very, very well. She was the only driver, in fact, that had 2 top 5s to start the season. That comes to an end.
Never run there. I mean, she ended last season with a top 5 as well, so big shame there. Now it's all down to Tret Racer in his Mercedes debut. Technically, still has to make another pit stop, so interesting to see what he will do on those medium tires, as we expect to see both Ferraris in, and yes.
Speaking of DNF, Tret Racer, DNF in the 4 last 6 races got Williams their best finish last week with that 4th place finish since the Williams finish in round 3 last season at Imola. In that crazy race, the 2 Ferraris do have to double stack right here. Florian is out in a way. That person now will have to come out in a decent position. And what does this do for Hunted now?
And
This? Obviously, this affects the strategy, but Tret Racer does come in, as you were just about to mention. Hunted comes out. It's going to be side-by-side out of the pit lane, it looks like, between Hunted and Florian. However, it is Florian ahead.
And this actually worked brilliantly for Invade. How about that? 4th place in the Aston Martin. Great stuff there. I think they only have 1 podium last season, coming from JTK at Monza. So, this could turn into a real dark horse result here for Aston Martin or any of these midfield teams. Got 5 DNFs on the board, so like we said at the top of the hour, you never know with Tier 2.
Talk about splitting the strategy. My goodness, I'm interested to see, with this so far, and I'm gonna keep talking about the highlights for a moment because last week still do have to be released to the YouTube. Will happen quite soon, by the way, but. With that said, I'm interested to see how I can cut it down to 12, 13 minutes, or even just 11, whatever it may be, 14. With the action we just saw moments ago. So much action in this race. It's so hard to keep up. You saw the battle, what was it? Originally 5th on back, became 4th on back, and then the top half for the race lead. So much action, so much going on. Valk right there, she lost it, ended up going off, and collected a couple of cars with damage. Goggy was a part of it. Innocent bystander, actually having a really decent race beside the penalty. You had Gecko, who I believe was a part of it. Just tons of calamity right there. So the 2 McLarens have not had the race they've wanted to start off so far, and everybody's in the hards except for Gecko on those mediums. So interesting way to yield this race. Just a reminder, we have F2 tomorrow. That's at Belgium, 11:15 a.m. Eastern, 4:15 p.m. UK. And Tier 1 is at Monza, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time.
So here is the position change, how we're looking here. Invade up 7 spots, big gainers here. Owen up 8, Melly up 9 after starting at the back. So great stuff there from the Alpine driver, the sole remaining Alpine driver. Quite a few sole remaining drivers left in this race. Owen, one Haas, Leon, the remaining Williams, Track Racer, the remaining Merc, and Hunted, the remaining Rebel. So, at least no double DNFs today. That would be very unfortunate.
Absolutely, we could be seeing the safety car in this lap. Leon Miner at the very back has to catch up now. We have, in fact, very interesting to say, all academies with at least one driver out of this race. Ferrari Academy were the only team not to have a DNF with their driver to start the season in Tier 2. Well, now they do with Instincts, obviously, out of this race at the start. We didn't really get to mention that with Zakaria and him. A lot of malfunctions we saw with that, and the safety car is in this lap. So, the Ferraris do sit on the podium right now. However, Hunted does have that penalty, making it a net P1, net P2 for them, and invade net podium. Let's see how Florian can determine this restart. 2 different winners in 2 races so far to start the season. 4 different winners in the last 4, and 6 of the last 7. Could it be 7 of the last 8, or 3 of the 3, 5 of the 5? Here we go. We'll find out. For the second half of this race, they get going once again. Green flag is waving. That person pulls alongside Hunted. The battle's for second place. If we could just get a good camera angle. He goes down the inside. They do make contact. Off the road goes Hunted. He does have to re-enter carefully, though. And that person trying to follow alongside, and they're all battling, all duking it out, trying to find spots behind that. Track Racer, Owen, invade, 3 wide for a moment. And here behind that, Owen, invade side by side. That person gets shoved out just a little wide, and they do make contact, and invade and Owen do. But, however, it is 4th place to invade. Now Owen's going to take it back around the outside, and now for second place in this race, that person's going to try to pull out on Hunted. They do go side by side. It is Hunted who gets the spot, and Owen trying to get the spot on invade now. Inside line for the next corner. Can he keep it? They do bang wheels for just a moment. Invade around the outside line. It's going to be invade for now, but Owen is going to have big balls and send another one, but he can't get it.
Here he comes again.
Now
He's inside of him. He's literally inside of him now.
Well, this has turned into an R-rated stream, but Owen is trying to find his way up ahead of the Aston Martin. Can he get it in his second race for Haas this season? He does get the upper edge on invade.
It became an R-rated stream there. Owen ghosted into him. And here we
RPL
go.
is now on Pornhub for the lead. Hunted on Florian. Can he get it? Hunted does get the race lead, but he does have the penalty to spare. These two have gone back at it, so can Florian go back at it? To the grass! They touch! Off goes Hunted! And they both go off through!
What is
that person
doing there? That is so stupid.
It's some dirty racing.
Now,
Seriously dirty racing.
Stupidity by Florian. I don't care what anyone says. That was absolute stupidity.
That's wrong. And that person now gets a penalty, a race leader. I can't believe that. Just absolutely sent him. Why were you... I mean, my opinion, I get trying to be aggressive and trying to go for some overtake of the week, trying to move. But when you're costing your own race going to the freaking grass right there and about to wreck both of you, which you almost did... I can't get behind that. I have a lot of respect for Florian, but Jesus Christ, that is... I had to bring Jesus into that. That's how bad it was.
It's less that he went into the grass and more that he put 4 wheels in the grass to make that move.
Exactly.
I think it's absolutely... That is pure stupidity. And all of a sudden, Owen's in net P3 here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And maybe P2. Here comes Track Racer back at it. Can Track Racer get it? I mean, look, it's one thing if you go to the grass and you dip 2 wheels on there for a second, fine. But he got all 4 wheels and he still went through with it. He didn't even back out. He punted Hunted. Funny enough, nice pun. But it could have ended both their races, and it gave the teammate that person the lead. But he's also got a penalty now to spare with it too, which is very interesting now.
The Hunted.
Yeah, I know. And it's very interesting to say that too.
Yeah.
4th place. Big battle.
My
Grandpa.
Goodness, Grandpa, what a move into the last
corner.
That was impressive stuff there. And is he going to go 2 for 2 here? He's going to go 2
Yeah,
for 2.
you usually don't see an overtake there. He does
there.
get it. Wow. That was a nice move from Grandpa. Now talk about making the move and doing it right. There you go. Back to the lead. Here comes Florian. Can he get it? Hunted gonna send it. Hunted is not happy. They do make contact again. They're wheel to wheel for the second time in the last 3 laps. Can Hunted remain in second place again? Can he get it back? 3 wide. Hunted down the inside. They do make contact, and now that person trying to switch back. They touch. They crash.
All 3
and
of
now
them.
Grandpa
All 3 of them.
to
Look
the
at
lead.
Grandpa go. Grandpa going for the lead. Everybody's in it now. That is
Oh my
damn
goodness.
it. And we got a safety car
car.
because there's a big crash in the back.
Gecko. Leon with some damage, I believe. Strat Racer, yep. Exactly. Bunch of front wings flew off. For one from the
Grandpa's
Ferrari,
leading.
I think. Hunted as well. Yeah, this is... I can't believe that.
They've been
I'm
getting
trying to wrap my mind
very
around it.
physical up front. They've been getting incredibly physical. Owen is going to lead this race because he stays out.
And Vate stays out as well. Molly does too. I'm really baffled. How do you put that together? FBL's up there, Leon Minor. I mean, this race is wide open. Gecko is out of this race now in the pit lane. Hunted had to repair some front wing damage. Florian repairs front wing damage. Strat Racer does too. There's a dad person, surely. If he didn't have damage, he definitely had a bit of hinderness toward his name because he fell from basically first to just second there. He's the one who got the least amount of damage from that out of the 3 in the lead. I'm amazed. I am speechless. I don't know what to say about that. That was some very dirty racing for the lead. You can't sugarcoat it. You can't even say it's questionable. You can say it's controversial, but that is ridiculous.
All 3 of them. They've been
Yeah.
racing like that pretty much the whole time. And as the laps have gone on,
That's what it causes.
It's gotten worse. Like, I get battling for the lead. It's a very physical thing. But my goodness, all 3 of them have tanked their races. All 3 of them have.
Yeah.
And
you cost
now,
yourself doing that.
and look at the podium we've been left with. Owen, Invade, and Mally are the 1-2 right now. Who would have predicted that? Absolute insanity. I mean, I know that the top 5 all stayed out, so Grandpa's in an FP1 here. Did Kipu stay out? I don't know if he did. No, he didn't. He pitted. So net P2 for Kipu and a net P3 for Blue Goggy. How about that?
That is incredible. May I just say, there is a lot of penalties to everyone's name. There's 7 different drivers out of the 13 left in this race with penalties. Florian's not happy with Hunted in the Discord chat. Hunted's not happy with Florian. And I'm going to read this message out loud with a bit of bleeps in it. At Florian, at Dad Person, you two need a bleeping a pair of new brains. What the F are you doing? You are being so bleeping stupid. And you know what? And the frustration, and Florian says, "The F are you doing? Are you stupid or what?" Well, look, I get the frustration for both sides, and here's the thing. At first it gave flashbacks of Stenner and the Tier 1 race. There was 3 questionable things. One that wasn't even questionable, and we do have the safety car come in, and we'll get to that in a moment. You had 1 questionable the collision on lap 2 that caused a couple of damage, I believe, at turn 4 by a cutoff, and then turn 4 in the last lap. This has been back and forth the whole race. You knew they were going to crash at some point. They've just been shoving each other just to the gravel, to the grass, off the road, racing, defending, blocking, like up there. And it's not just Florian Hunted. That person had a little bit of involvement too. Just a and that's exactly what he did. You open the window for Haas, Aston,
as Owen
Alpine.
sends us off.
Does send us off because now the top 3 is 3 different teams that we didn't expect up front. Here we go. Kipu on Grandpa. 3 wide into turn 1. We don't get a good angle of that. But Leon Minor is being challenged and is under much pursuit. Mythic, FBL, Goggy, and there was someone else there who got a penalty, but it is now wide open. Here comes Grandpa. 5th place in this race. Does he make the move now on Leon Minor to the outside line? Can he get it done? Not yet. However, he's going to wait to challenge back as they continue to battle in the back. Florian, Tret Racer, Mythic, hunted. However, Grandpa wants his chance on the new mediums to make something of it. Leon Miner's going to defend for his life, though. Leon can't hang on. It is Grandpa who dukes around the outside, muscles around him. Dat Person, Alan Kippu, and they do touch Dat Person and Kippu. Dat Person hanging around the inside line, sends one, and is ahead. So that position is contested, and now Hunted and Florian are back at it, and they're both around this time.
Other.
Yep. And
now the race
surely that will go to the
over.
steward's office. Grandpa ahead of
Tret Racer
FPL.
around as well.
Yep, and PK leaving the session in disgust of his teammate, I'm going to assume. Yellow flags for Tret Racer, in penalty for Invade. Too much going on to cover, but we have to get back to the lead because Invade was the one who picked up a penalty in P2 right there. Very interesting stuff right there. Florian Pitts. He is surely frustrated by this point. However, the battle is for the lead. Invade, trying on Owen. Owen, your previous Tier 2 champion, previous winner, multiple-time winner from last season. Tret racing out of this race, and now it's a safety car. Interesting.
I don't even know where Tret ended up. Did he retire in the pits, or I saw it said he retired.
I thought so too.
That's a weird one because his blip was nowhere on the map.
We had a move going for the lead, and then there was a safety car.
Don't you love this game? Well, 11. We're gonna have 11 laps to go this time by. It'll be interesting to see if any of the guys that didn't pit now, maybe for soft tires.
Yeah.
Any threat of rain is probably gone by now. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I forgot to mention that too. I mean, it's just ridiculous, and you know what?
Oh,
it's funny because. Yes, here we go.
They're all in. They're all in.
Most of them are. Grandpa's staying out.
Leon
if you're on the mediums, you're probably going to stay out.
Of course, Leon stays out because it's not a party without Leon.
Exactly, I agree. Leon wanted to spice things up. Leon tactics, Leon episode. A couple of things to mention with this race, okay? Both Mercedes are out of this race. This is going to be the first time since Season 7, Round 5 Baku. You have to go all the way back to February, 7 months ago, to the last time they didn't score points. In fact, now that's almost 3 seasons they didn't score points. And Red Bull have PK out of the race, and they originally had Hunted out of the points. He's currently in the points, but with a penalty, and could have more to his name. The last time they didn't score points, Red Bull, Season 8, Round 7, Japan, May, 4 months ago. So, a lot in this race, a lot wide open. 2 teams could not score points who have a serious streak going right now. And you have a McLaren who won the opening round, Ferrari won the second round, and Alfa Romeo's up there, and Aston Martin's up there. We're going to ignore Leon because he's on 10-lap hards. He could make a difference in this race. Doubt he'll win, though. But your prediction of 18 drivers go out and Leon wins is getting a lot more likelier here with 10 laps to go in their safety car.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
I'm a man of my word. Leon does Leon things. There's a reason why he has the Leon Goat emote in the Discord. So he's just showing his activities, and I think even if the safety car goes around another lap here, is Florian gonna catch them? I think he should, but he's a ways behind. But Grandpa, he's in the best possible position here, leading the race. He's got Leon, of all people, between him and that person. So I think that's his saving grace here. And then you got Kippu. He's in 4th.
No penalties.
That too. I did not notice that.
I mean, we're giving the viewers the penalty outlook right now with Grandpa with 3, Leon 3, Dat Person 3, Goggy at 9, Hunted at 6, and then everyone else behind that with a penalty has 3, and we're down to 12 runners. We have 70 DNFs in this race. That's kind of the race has been. It's chaotic. It reminds me of 2020 Austria, but the difference is it's very much more wide open than that was. And I'm talking 2020 Austria real life. I mean, you'd have to go back to find some RPL races this could relate to, but Kippu is not happy. He has no penalties, by the way. Kippu's not happy with Dat Person because you saw there on the run, the double left, which is turn 6 and 7, he felt Dat Person was hooking his left rear tire right there and could cause a crash. The safety car is in this lap. Wow. I mean,
big
after all, there's 3 drivers without, well, 4 drivers without penalties. Florian is one of them, but 3 inside the points. Everyone's caught up. You have 6 guys on soft tires. You have 4 guys without penalties. I mean, this could be a very interesting race toward the end. But like I said, season's wide open. Now make it the race itself wide open. It will be less than 10 laps to go when we do put the pedal to the metal once again. And we do again.
Grandpa.
So here we go. Final couple laps. Deciding moments of this race. Here we go. Leon Miner being a distraction to that person off the road. That was Blue Goggy right there in the restart. Can that person get the upper edge on Leon into turn 1? Moving in the braking.
The answer is no, because it's Leon.
Can he find the spot on Leon? Inside line. Leon blocks. Florian gets a penalty now, so that's 3 runners without a penalty. Kipu doesn't have one. Is ducking out now on Kipu. Or sorry, on that person. That person now ducking out on Leon.
They're 4 wide.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They are 4 wide. You're right about that. Owen, Goggy, and Vade all in a cluster of cars. However, that person on Leon for second place. Leon almost goes into him, and that's a gaggle of cars. That's 6-7 cars under 5/10 right there for what is 4th place. And here comes Kipu inside of Hunted. Can Kipu get him? He can. Oh, they touch! Now Kipu and Owen. Owen's around. Owen did not invade. I can't keep up. Goggy's off the road. Kipu trying to hold on. Molly trying to go through.
There's damage everywhere.
Molly does go through. There's damage.
Kipu penalty. Now Molly's.
Oh my goodness.
And he's got no front wing. Oh my goodness, Grandpa. He has been the big beneficiary of that because he was the only one ahead of Leon, which means he's got a 2.5-second lead. And since pretty much the entire grid has a penalty now, it doesn't matter who finishes where. As, my goodness, Nelly, he's got no end plate, so his odds of winning quite low now. And, well, he should be able to close in on Leon despite the damage. Gap's 1.4 seconds, so he'll gain a spot there. Might gain a spot on Hunted as well, so
Florian
put him on the line
inside,
here. Oh
sorry to cut
Florian.
in on Kipu. The 2 Alfa Romeo teammates going back at it with Mythic there in the background. We have not forgot about Mythic because he could take a chance on someone like Goggy who has multiple penalties. Switchback time. Goggy on FBL. Can Goggy get FBL into the second right or second left? Yes, he can. But he slides. His teammate goes into the kitty litter. Pushes him out. The Aston Martin now has damage. That's Invade who's got hit a car for the 2nd time in that area. And now DRS is enabled for the people who want to have a chance in this race still. Unbelievable action. I feel bad for Owen. He could have had a chance as well to make something of it. Florian and now Molly battling it out. Here's Kipu and Goggy trying to defend. Kipu on Goggy trying to keep the spot. Kipu's ahead. Goggy trying to get back at it. And now he does get back at it. Inside line here. While Florian trying to get the upper edge on Molly. The only points runner who does not have a penalty.
I forgot Owen don't have a penalty either, but here we go. Wheel to wheel between these 2 guys. Wheel to wheel between literally everyone as Kipu has washed out big time. He loses multiple spots. And Florian, will he send one? He will not. He will stay right behind that Alpine, sniffing his gearbox at this point. And he's gonna think about going around the outside. Yeah, that's not gonna happen there. And now Leon is going to do his best performance of William heritage to hold on to this to this P4.
Absolutely, Florian down the inside of Molly. He was thinking about it once again right there. He's going to have to try something if he wants to get up on the order here. You have Hunted, who's currently on the podium with 6 seconds of penalties. Molly with nothing on the board right now. Molly trying to take advantage on those new soft tires, but can Florian come back at it down the inside? They make contact, and through Mythic and Goggy try to go, but they can't. They have no room to go.
Whoa!
And off the road, Goggy's out.
Huge crash.
FPL is damaged. Owen is damaged. And now, Invade picks up a penalty with the virtual safety car out. Excuse me, Owen does not have damage.
Might be able to get that removed, depending on what happened with Invade. So, it was a 5-second penalty. We'll see if that can get removed. But, holy bejeebus. So much going on here. And, Williams heritage, Leon 4th. I don't care what you say.
Well, you know what? To be fair to him, I'll give him this credit. Currently holding on to 4th. He could still remain inside of a top 5-ish position by the end of this race. Just saying.
Okay, looks like we're gonna get ready to go green here any second now.
Molly's got damage, I think. I'm not 100%
Mally's got damage
on
as
that.
well. He is
I mean,
really slow.
there's a ton who have
damage.
damage.
And no,
Leon, drive through.
No,
Oh my
he's
goodness.
dead.
Invade to the pit lane. So Leon still may have somewhat of a chance to score points from this. However, 5th place is the battle. Leon with a 3-second. Molly trying to hold on to 5th here. And can he do it? Florian now on the charge. Outside line. Left side he pulls 2. You have in the background Owen and Kippu. It's Molly and Florian. Florian ahead of Molly. Molly back down the inside. They touch for a moment. Molly back ahead with no penalties but with damage to spare. Can he keep it though? Molly ahead of Florian. Florian gonna duck down the inside.
Gonna do it
lay
again.
on the brakes. That's the 2nd time in that corner. He's pulled a late move, but he's holding on to it this time. Florian does touch him, but Molly is ahead for the time being. However, with that damage, he can't hold on.
Gravel here.
They touch. He's around. Off goes FPL.
Oh my
Or
goodness.
Owen. That's Owen. FPL in the charge now with Mythic and Kippu. This is a big battle for what is 6th place on the road.
And it's about to become 5th with Leon's drive through here. Shame for him after running in 4th. Here comes FPL. Here comes Mythic. I haven't even seen Mythic today. My goodness. And FPL tries to go through. These two, Kippu and FPL, they're good friends here. So they're gonna try and race with respect. Technically Academy teammates. FPL on loan. And here comes Mythic down the inside. My goodness. The action never stops. And
oh, he's off.
Kippu. He lost the back end.
Man, he could have had a good run going without that penalty before he had it, and then he had the big battles, but it is all come undone. You know, with Hunted 6th currently on the podium, it basically guarantees him a podium. The top 2, it could change between them because of the factor of more penalties to come. Geckos leave this session. He's already out of this race, but we're down to 11 runners with everything that's happened. I am at a loss for words, to say the least.
Literally, as you said, this literally is the 2020 Austrian Grand Prix. Only 20 cars started that one compared to the 19 today. 11 on course to finish, and it's going to be 11 cars that end up being classified finishers here. So, regardless if we get another DNF. Absolute, I mean, carnage, death, destruction, wherever you look. And the battle still isn't over here. We got FEL and Mythic. This is for 5th place here. Well done to both of these guys for surviving the chaos.
Here comes Leon, back at it on Kippu. Inside line here, turn 3. They bang wheels while they were wheel to wheel. However, Kippu gets the traction on exit, does the switchback. Inside line on Leon, yellow flags. That's for Molly. And here goes Leon. Trying to remain on the outside line, can't do it. He's gonna try the switchback though. Leon does
switchback
get it for a moment. And Hunted now has 9 seconds, so if Florian can catch back up on those new soft tires, he can possibly get the podium. However, Leon challenges back around the outside, and it is Leon
what
ahead.
What a legend. What a move. Wow.
He will be in the points today from the way things stand, and, you know, there are possible penalties to come. I think of Hunted, I think of Florian, and that could mean a battle with Mythic and FBL and Owen being the potential podium spot in the steward's office. However, we won't speculate too much. They almost go off. FBL back at it. Inside line, Mythic will have, but FBL is ahead to where he covers that off.
Talk about battle to the death here. These guys
tell me about it.
These guys are pretty close to Florian too, so in the event Florian does get a penalty, P4 here. So, job well done to these guys. And
could be P3 in the store's office, so who knows? There's a lot to still unravel.
Here comes Kippu and Leon. These guys, they're just having some fun now. As the TP, this has been a very poor race. But, considering Leon is about 1 pass away from being the highest place Academy driver today!
Whoa!
They almost died!
Whoa! Wow, that got close.
These guys stopped giving me a heart attack.
In this race. Yeah, we just start the final lap of this race. Mythic on FBL now. That person tries to cover back at the lead. He did gain a little bit, but I think it's a little too late for that. Grandpa is trying for his second Tier 2 win of the season. He got his first win in the season opener at Bahrain, but today at Austria, he's trying for his second win, possibly ever in RPL. Here goes Mythic down the inside in FBL. Can he do it?
Oh, off the track goes
the road.
FBL there.
Mythic
But it's the DRS for Mythic, and I think that's going to be all she wrote between these two guys with the DRS. But they're still going side by side. But
yeah, they are.
Now this is happening.
The final sector.
Grandpa is coming through the penultimate corner, and here he comes
Here he
out
is.
the final turn. What a drive!
It was a second win on the season today. It's the championship lead. He had a broken front wing at the start of this race. He comes back to win for the second time in RPL Tier 2 this season, and his second ever Tier 2 win. There's still battling going on throughout the field. However,
Is making it feel, oh my goodness.
Second, Hunted third,
Florian
third, fourth, and FBL's around, or Mythic's around.
No, Mythic! They made contact in the penultimate corner, and FBL's gonna hold on to it. And no, he's not, because Owen's got P5 now. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a shame between those guys. Kipu, Leon, and then Invade, picking up the last couple points. And Bally, a fortunate P11 for him, the only finisher out here to not get points. But, what a chaotic Grand Prix. That ended in a great victory for Grandpa.
4 stops.
Oh my goodness, Melly.
There you have it.
What a race.
I mean, was it the cleanest of races? No. But was it the action-packed racing we talk about in RPL? Yeah, it kind of was. So, fair play for the teams who took advantage. Fair play to the drivers who came back at it. I mean, Grandpa broke his front wing earlier in the race. Pitted, got the safety car, and came back to win for the second time in Tier 2. I don't even know how to unravel that race. Fair play to Owen coming back at it too, though. He crashed, and he could still be getting a podium if there are penalties toward Hunted and Florian, which I do expect to have happen. 13th on the grid from Owen to 5th. 19th on the grid from FBL to 6th. Fair play. I mean, I don't even know who to give driver of the day. I'm not even going to give anyone driver of the day right now. But
I think Burt Mylander should get driver of the day.
Yeah, I agree, actually. And Luke saying that's poor from a lot of people. It was. It really was. Here are your final results on the race. Grandpa gets the win. That person, Hunted, joined him on the podium. 3 different teams up there. Florian, Owen, FBL, Mythic, Kipu, Leon, Invade your points runners. Still a lot to come in the steward's office. Still a lot that could happen. My goodness, Beatnik, what a race we've just seen. And we've got another race next week as well, and 2 more this weekend.
Oh my goodness. Absolute death. No matter where you look. We're gonna have a lot of clips here with only 11 finishers. Fantastic job by Grandpa. He just outlasted all the carnage, and fair play to him. He won the race, and no one's gonna take that one away from him. Kept out of trouble. As contrary to the 2 Ferraris and Hunted, the 3 of them for the entire first stint, they just trying to kill each other. And eventually, they did. So,
yeah.
That was... I'm going to genuinely say that was probably the dirtiest Tier 2 race I have ever seen. And that's saying something.
Yeah, dirtiest ever. I mean, I think the incident report will show it. I mean, Spa last season was one that I thought of in terms of races that are close enough to this, but the stewards report may show that this will probably top it. Yeah, so we're gonna end off the stream here in just a moment, but before doing so, Tier 2 next week is at Britain, a track that provides crazy racing like today, but much more cleaner, I would hope. F2 tomorrow is at Belgium, and Tier 1 tomorrow is also at Italy. So still staying within the EU region, it seems, for RPL here, regardless of what track we're at.
Wow. I mean, we got some good racing set up for us tomorrow. Hopefully, I pray to the heavens that Tier 1 is better than that, because that was just bad. That was really, really bad. So, we'll just see what happens tomorrow. Here's hoping anything was better than what we saw today. Sure, from a commentary perspective, that was absolute brilliance. But from a driver's perspective, I'm sure every single one of them are probably pissed, except for the winner.
Yeah, and you know what? I was gonna say as well, Kippa just made a fair point in the chat. Y'all make fun of Leon, but he's genuinely the only guy I had a clean battle with in that race. Just let that sink in.
And that's why I signed him. Dub driver.
There you go. He races clean when he wants to, and it shows in a race like today when he can race clean. I'll put it that way. We make fun of Leon. He is the Nicholas Latifi meme of RPL, you can call it, but and maybe more than that. But in all honesty, though, yeah, I mean that's kind of how it sums up today with the racing we saw from the drivers. You know, I think with the stream starting late, the restart itself, I mean, everyone just went bonkers. And speaking of bonkers, you know, he lost his seat for Season 10, which we didn't mention in the pre-race, but there you go. Delayed till Season 11, that contract. That's which is why you see Hunted in. So
yeah,
they did literally go bonkers. So, you know, Hunted said, "Don't believe me, just watch the stream, enjoy the penalties." Well, I will say, as much as Florian is involved in the incidents he was with Hunted, I mean, Hunted did do a little bit back too to give him some crap for what had happened. Hunted was part of it too, which is exactly why those two going at it, you know, it makes it a bad look. I do think there was one driver there in that battle who was worse than the other, but I'm not going to try to play bias on the stream too much with it. It's just the factor that, you know, those two were the main two who kind of gave it a wide open door for some controversial action, we'll put it. I'll leave it at that before we do end
We'll
off.
put it this way. Let's put it, the driving was so terrible that no one got driver of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I can't give anyone driver of the day. I can't.
That's why
I
I
mean,
gave
maybe
it
I
to my
can.
lander.
Maybe I can give it to Leon. I don't know. I mean, just.
I'll give it. I mean, you don't have to. I wasn't gonna say Leon just to avoid bias, but if you're gonna recommend it, I'm taking Leon.
When's the last time you scored points in Tier 2?
I don't know, but it's Leon. I don't care.
I hear ya. I hear ya. I mean, he's much of a meme, but you know what? What was this race then? You know, if that's the case, though, you know. So I'll leave it at that. You know, I don't have much else positive to say, but hey, tomorrow is Tier 2 Tier 2, F2. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. Tomorrow is F2. We're at Belgium. Tier 1, they're at Italy. Like I said, staying in the EU. This should be tons of fun. Staying in Europe. All right. I'm your commentator, Ryan Ocon. Alongside me today was Beatnik. We're signing off. Next week, you can catch the action in Silverstone for more Tier 2 action. Round number 4 of the season. We've got more races to come this weekend. But until next time, we will see you then.